Welcome to the Angel Stark Show with Damone Means. With your hosts, Angel Starks, and your co-host, Damone Means.
The Angel Stark Show with Damone Means. Check this out, we live.
Yeah. You don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode of the Late Night Show with the Angel Stark Show and Damone Means. I'm your host, Angel Starks.
And I'm Damone Means, and we are here recording live at the Gospel at the 5 Theater at the Washington Square Mall. I'm telling you, if you haven't had a chance to see this place, you got to come out and take a look for yourself. It has an awesome ambiance of elegance and professional style that you will absolutely love for any type of event in regards to theater, arts, music, or even worship. The information is on the screen. Come on out, check them out.
That's right. We have a very awesome show lined up for you guys today. You don't want to miss it. Today in the studio, we have live right here gbill. Glenn is a very successful author and professional speaker, and he's going to talk to us about the benefits of a positive attitude. I'm going to give you a little bit of information. You love it, don't you?
I do.
You love it, because you're all about the attitude.
Attitude is everything.
Attitude is everything. Sometimes doors are open just because of your attitude and the way that people perceived your attitude and how positive you were or outgoing you were. And versus, maybe you wouldn't if you didn't have that attitude, may not get certain opportunities.
And sometimes doors are closed
too
because of your attitude. What Glenn has to offer to the audience today is going to be, man.
It is going to knock your socks off, so make sure that you stay tuned. Now, gbill speaks from experience. He believes in moving people and their business from vision to action. His life experience is a reflection of his belief. He received his real estate license when he was only 19 years old and purchased his franchise by 23. He was recognized as a top 10 franchise owner and team leader in the nation by one of the world's largest real estate franchises. Glenn was named one of the top 10 salespeople in the nation from closing over 200 sales in homes in spite of the 2007 market crash. He was one of the very few who not only survived the crash but thrived in a changing and challenging market. Glenn now shares his success strategies and increasing growth and profits. He is the author of several audio programs and an international bestseller book, The ABCs of Attitude. Welcome, gbill. Wake up with the Angel Stark Show and Damone Means Monday mornings on ampsradio.com at 9 a.m.
Catch us 7 p.m. on ampstv.com.
Amps
TV you control.
Welcome, Bill Glenn. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It's actually gbill, just so you know.
Oh, it's gbill.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to switch your name around.
Because everybody else
does. Everybody do that? Okay, awesome.
But I got a good attitude about it, so it doesn't matter.
You
Right.
So get it right. So it is gbill.
Yes.
Here on the Angel Starks with Damone Means show, ready to enlighten us on all of these awesome things that you are doing. Tell us or give us an introduction about yourself.
Well, I'm gbill. I'm born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
I started in the real estate business at a very young age, bought a company at 23 years old. We became one of the fastest growing real estate franchises in America. I sold it at 37. I started going around the country speaking about high performance and how I was able to grow a company at such a fast pace.
Okay.
And then about 2 years ago, people and the corporations that I speak for said, Glenn, gosh, we love your attitude. And you know what? There's not enough people that study attitude or write a book about it. So they said,
Wow.
share with us your secrets. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and write this book called The ABCs of Attitude, which you guys have right here.
Yes.
And lo and behold, it became an international bestseller. And now not only do I talk about high performance, but I talk about attitude with Fortune 100 and 500 companies all over the nation. So that's what I'm doing.
It's really, it was very intelligent of you to do the attitude piece, because people definitely talk about the negativity of attitudes, but not so often do people talk about the power of a positive attitude and how that can. Is it more about the attitude that got you to where you are, and if you didn't have that right attitude, maybe you wouldn't be where you were, or is it more based
the hard work?
The hard work.
You know, it's funny, when you talk about attitude, everybody, right, is always like, oh, it's about attitude,
Right.
And it's a negative connotation.
Right.
And what people don't know, I mean, number one, I always ask employers, what's the most important thing you're looking for in a candidate? And invariably they say, what? Attitude. Have you guys ever heard the saying, attitude is everything?
Attitude is everything.
Absolutely.
Right. And so then I always ask my audiences, well, how many of you have ever read a book, been to a class, took a course in college on attitude? And no one.
Wow.
Including my CEOs that I coach.
Whoa.
And so you go, oh my gosh, if attitude is the most important thing you're looking for in your business or organization, but yet you've never studied it, it doesn't make much sense. And because it's a really misunderstood term. So attitude isn't about how you come off or how you perceive things. Attitude, Webster tells us, that it's the way you dedicate yourself to the way you think. So what I help people, and the great Dr. Napoleon Hill said, you become what you think about all day long.
Right.
So what I love to ask my audiences and my clients is what are you thinking about all day long? And so what you think about, what you hear, what you study, and what you let into your mind and your heart ultimately becomes your attitude. So it's either a bunch of negative junk that is all around us, especially our youth today, or are you focusing and are you really working hard to dedicate yourself to positive thoughts and positive results? So that's the one thing I like to really help people understand is attitude is about thinking.
Right.
Right? It's an everyday thing.
Yes.
When I speak for an hour on attitude, I always tell the audience, I say, you're going to have the same bad attitude you probably walked in here with. I can't fix your attitude in an hour, but I can create some awareness, and I can give you some information and some knowledge that will help boost your attitude, that will help give you a more positive attitude and help you become ultimately more attractive to the people that you come in touch with.
Okay.
So.
And speaking of boosting attitudes, I have this card, and there's 10 attitude boosters on here.
There are.
Going down this list, there's several that really caught my attention. So number 7 is grow or die.
Yes.
Speak on that briefly. What is that, grow or die?
Well, I was a high school football coach for 25 years.
Okay.
The great Lou Holtz kind of came up with this, grow or die. And so many of my audiences go, is there not any other option?
Right.
No in between.
Or you got to die. There's got to be something in between. But we know this, that the mind is a goal-seeking device. We are always looking to grow as people. And if you're not moving forward, you're ultimately moving back. Nobody stays the same. So our challenge is when we talk about attitude, the great Zig Ziglar said, motivation, right, is an everyday thing. We say it's a lot like bathing. It's something we recommend you do every single day, right?
You gotta do it, yeah.
And so the question is are you growing every single day? That booster says, am I looking to grow? Am I seeking the advice that I need to seek in order to have a better attitude and to grow my business, to grow my faith, to grow my relationships, right? To grow my mind, to grow my interpersonal conflicts that I have. So that's what grow or die means. And if you're seeking for that, and if you feel at the end of the day, man, I grew today, that's going to help your attitude.
Then you're on to something like
that.
And it's funny that you mentioned earlier, you said the question that you asked is, what are you thinking about?
Right.
And so you coined this whole, man, I don't even know what to call this movement, you know,
It's
about
called the
attitude.
movement.
The attitude movement. Okay, so I was spot on. So
Yes, you
you
were.
coined this whole movement called attitude,
Yeah.
but it's really something kind of indirectly that we've been teaching our children for a long time, because most of the time when children do stuff, the parents, the first thing they ask them is, what were you thinking?
Right.
So that's something that's been kind of in existence, but not really developed and understood.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
a great point.
and so you've taken the time to really dig into this and bring it out and be able to reveal it to other people. This is what that question really means.
Sure.
Welcome to Strength Factory, where we offer a variety of classes. You can check me out on Friday evenings from 5:30 p.m. for absolutely amazing abs, followed by total body.
And you can check me out Monday mornings at 5:30 a.m. and it's a total body class. You can see additional classes on our Facebook page at Strength Factory PT.
Strength Factory, building beautiful bodies, one rep at a time.
And I'm happy you mentioned the Attitude Movement, because I'm the founder of Global Attitude Awareness Day. Now, Global Attitude Awareness Day is the second Saturday in April. It was actually April 15th this year. And what we do is we have Continental Attitude Ambassadors. We have Attitude Ambassadors at a country level, and Attitude Ambassadors at a state level.
Wow.
And so we're taking it all over the world. I'm happy to say I have a dear friend of mine, Dr. Yomi, down in Nigeria. Nigeria went crazy for Global Attitude Awareness Day.
Oh, wow.
In Nigeria, I awarded them with the best country with an attitude this year. So
Wow.
if you go to attitudemovement.com, you'll see what we're doing. You can go to Global Attitude Awareness Day and see what we're doing globally with this whole attitude movement. So thanks for mentioning
And
that.
I just want to touch really quick on some of your high content programs.
Yes,
How many
thank you.
programs do you have?
So I really have about 10 programs.
About 10,
right?
okay.
But what I do is I go around the country and I speak to associations, corporations, and I talk to them about high performance and how high performance is involved and or intermixes with sales, customer service,
Right.
disruption, customer loyalty, and customer satisfaction. So most of my programs involve high performance, but a lot of it's about sales, it's about attitude. I have a program called The Secret is Effort, and it really helps people understand what type of
I feel
effort
so
am I.
inspired, like,
Well,
right? Just listening to some
You have a great attitude.
Doesn't she?
I feel so inspired. I can imagine sitting and listening to you for a full hour. I would be like, I can do it.
Yes, you can.
Awesome,
Right.
awesome,
There's
awesome.
nothing that you can't do. We all know this, right?
Yes, I believe that.
With the right
for
attitude.
myself, yes.
With the right, well, I can tell you, people always say to me, they say, Glenn, well, attitude helped me do anything. And what I tell them is, you know what, a good attitude will help you do things better than a bad attitude.
Correct.
Right? So a good attitude is not going to help me dunk a basketball.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But it'll say, oh, good job.
Help,
You was a good sport.
help you deal with missing
So
better.
help me deal with not being able to touch the net because I got no ups. Right? So. Yeah, that's what it does.
Tell me your a candidate that would be an ideal client for you. If someone's thinking, I don't know if I'm big enough. I don't know if I'm ready enough. I don't know if I'm good enough to work, with Glenn.
So the people that really gravitate towards me, I do a lot in the college football arena. Also, I work with some professional sports teams as well. But ultimately, the companies that want me are people that have just faced disruption.
Okay.
Favorite manager just left. They just fired 50 people.
Wow.
We call it attitude alignment. So in large corporations, you may have, there's people that have to manage 200-300 people.
Right.
So what the attitude course does is it helps everybody align their attitude. It helps business leaders and owners say, here's my team, these people need some help on their attitude, these people got some great attitude. But ultimately, to help you become a peak performer, a high performance leader, you have to have attitude alignment. And so what I do is teach people, why do you have the attitude the way you have? Why do you have the attitude you have? How do you change your attitude? How do you improve your attitude? Are you okay with the attitude you have? And we tackle those questions. So I get inside the hearts and minds of anybody that I come into. And I help them become
You're in my heart and mind right now.
That's good. Well, I can't wait. I'm sure we're going to be seeing you
Yes.
on big TV.
I am a huge fan right now.
Thank you so
For
much.
whatever reason, just was exposed to you, did a little research, and, and was
great.
very excited on a different level
Yes.
to have you here. And I thought, wow, it's not every day that you can bump shoulders with someone with so much knowledge and so much success that you have. It's not always at your exposure. So I really appreciate you for coming on the show today.
Sure.
And you have goodies. I don't know what
I have
you
goodies.
here.
So I got a ABCs of Attitude book for each of you.
Thank you
now
very
I have
much.
Attitude clothing, but we sold out. I actually sold, this book sold out on Amazon, but I'll autograph that
That's
for
the
you.
best that you can ever ask for is to sell out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we also have our Attitude Pledge bracelets, and so our Attitude bracelets, this goes with Global Attitude Awareness Day. These bracelets, and I wear one every day, help us understand that we have to have what's called attitude awareness. We have to be aware of the attitude that we have. So this little band helps us do that. You got my cards, and that's about it. And I'll try to get you some shirts later and whatever else.
Before you go, let our viewers and our listeners here on WHMB and AMP know where they can find you, where they can get your book, your social media tags. Give it all to them.
Great. Well, that's fantastic. Well, you can find me pretty easily. If you just Google me, you're going to see all kinds of different stuff that we do.
Google him.
Google him.
So, but I'd love to have you come to our Facebook page, which is gbill Speaker. You can go to gbill.com. You can hit us on Twitter at GlennJBill. We're on Instagram at @UofAttitude. We're on LinkedIn at GlennBill. I mean, if you can't find me,
you don't want
my marketing.
Something's wrong with your attitude.
Right. Something's
wrong with your attitude.
Seek and ye will find. I'm sure of it. Yes.
Well, thank you again so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate you. We're definitely going to continue to follow and support you.
Good.
And you guys stay tuned. We will be right back.
So are you looking for more motivation? Are you looking for more time to get fit and healthy?
We're here at the Strength Factor, here to motivate you. We're open from 4:30 a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m., Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday by appointment.
So please give us a call at 317-376-0135 for a free assessment. Thank you.
And we don't want to forget our sponsors who make this awesome show possible for our audience. We'd like to give a special thanks to the Strength Factory, most definitely for WHMB TV 40 for having us on the air, and Golden J Image Photography.
That's right. And the Gospel After 5 is always here to open their doors and let us in to create what we create every week. Now, the Angel Stark Show with Damone Means Show is all about promoting minority and urban business owners, individuals, and talent in Indianapolis and outside surrounding cities. So if you would love to become a sponsor and help us build and make stronger businesses and communities, make sure that you reach out to us. Salon X is one of our sponsors, and Ultimate Tresses. All right, you guys, we'll be right back.
And welcome back, and welcome to another episode of Boys Will Be Boys. And this week the topic is so fitting because we're talking about attitudes. One of the moms.
Boys have the worst attitudes. Just put it out there. But
it depends. It depends on what girls are doing to those boys. So yeah, boys normally just don't have bad attitudes. But one of the viewers wrote in and they wanted to know, is it normal for boys to get attitudes towards their mother going through the teenage years? She said this is her second son, it's a teenager, and she said both of them, once they're at the age of about 16, 17, they kind of started getting a little bit of an attitude. Well, she looks at it as an attitude where they don't.
It's called, I think I'm a man now.
Yeah, and so she
That's
thinks.
What it's called. It ain't called attitude.
Yeah, so she thinks it's an attitude where they don't want to be, where they don't want to deal with her and be involved with her. But to me, what I told her is it's really just those boys reaching towards and striving towards independence. And so they don't kind of want mom to they want to go as many places with mom. They don't want to hang out with mom as much. And they kind of don't want mom to
I don't
just.
want you hanging out with me no way. Get in there and clean your room up, mom. That's what I would tell them. But don't get me started because I'm not a very soft mom. I'm not like, oh, well, they're going through. You ain't going through nothing. I done worked 80 hours this week. And I done made arrangements on the lights. They clowning, act like they didn't get the paper. There's too much going on. I'm not very sensitive to kids.
Okay.
I'm in my adult world trying to handle stuff, and they playing.
So with your son, did you notice was there a certain age or time period where he kind of started to wing himself?
I don't allow that. I didn't see it. If he did, he would go in his room. If he did, he would go to his pillow like because he better not come in my living room with no attitude. I am down south and I'm old school and I don't tolerate it. But boys do have attitudes. All kids have attitudes, and no matter the sex, if you ask me, they do. I see them trying to sneak and have attitude. I know kids do have attitudes, but not my kids. My kids don't have attitudes around me.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't even really know if that's an attitude thing. I think it just gets to a certain age where boys, the whole mama boy syndrome, it kind of dissipates and is gone, and it comes back later on in life.
Yep. And I feel like that when you get to your teenagers are going through puberty and they're thinking they're grown, male or female or whatever, you just got to figure out the best way to deal with that for your child. The way I handle my kids is not going to work for everybody. You got to know your kids, and you have to, you've raised them your whole life. Figure out what's going to work for you and your teen so that you guys can just get through it without pulling each other's hair out. Hey, if you are tuned in and you hear this topic, if you want to weigh in on it, we would love to hear from you. Go to our Facebook page and Twitter page. The information's at the bottom of the screen. Weigh in on the conversation. You never know, your topic or your comment could help somebody out. All right, you guys, I'm going to talk to you about really news that I've seen that's national. So basically, the suicide rate for teenagers since smartphones in the last 4 years have tripled. Teenagers have the world at their fingers with the smartphones.
Right.
But then they also have the world now on their shoulders. They are really a lot of critics and statistics are saying that smartphones have a lot to do with our youth girls and boys taking their own lives. I mean, you see these teenagers that you would think have the best life ever. They are popular. They are, academically on top of things, and they have a mom, they have a dad, and you see they just kill themselves. Why? What is happening?
And it's funny that you talk about the teenagers, but even the adults. So if you look at it from the adult perspective and then scale back to the teenage perspective, everything is placed on social media. Everything you do, everything you don't do, the things that you want people to see is on Facebook, and then for the children, things that you don't want to see are placed on Facebook. So or just social media.
Right.
And so it's an immense amount of pressure to deal with keeping up with the Joneses and having a certain
the Joneses
image.
And the Kardashians.
Yeah, the Joneses and the Kardashians. And social media makes you believe, especially when you're young and impressionable, that you have to do things or live or present yourself a certain way, and then when you don't.
So many model type teenage kids, so many kids with these eyebrows and the way they built, and they just everybody's cute. Everybody's cute. Everybody's supposed to be cute. There's something wrong.
And not even everybody's cute. Everybody has to be cute.
You have to be
cute.
Like
it's almost like they don't have an option because it's going to be on Snapchat.
It's going to be on
It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be on Facebook. And so they have to get their likes up.
It's just, I'm stressed out.
We didn't have to worry about growing up and somebody saying, you didn't get a lot of likes on your picture yesterday.
Yeah, because people will be like, oh, that's the ugly stuff. That's why you only got 2 likes. Killing me.
You're right, but I've heard my children talk about things like that.
Me too.
About the amount of likes
And
that
I'll say,
someone received on
watch and see
the.
how them likes are gonna pay for your bills when you get
Yeah.
older. Watch and see how that person is on there gathering all those likes. Just watch and see in 5 years, give it 2.5 years, where they're gonna end up and where you're gonna end up. Don't worry about it.
Right.
So the question is, with the smartphones, if you have a teenager that is, just displaying some
Good or bad stuff.
some good or bad behaviors that may worry you and maybe have you thinking that they've thought about suicide, don't be afraid to bring the subject up, because when you bring it up, you're not putting it in their mind. If they thought about it, they've
already thought about it.
And a lot of kids know about it because it's happening right in our neighborhoods, right in our schools, right in our communities every single day. So talk to your teens. Make sure that you are the boss. If this phone is causing too much and your teenager cannot handle it, take it away.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be mad. Oh, they're going to be mad. But it could save their life.
Right,
I mean,
they'll
if
be
they
alive.
can't deal with it, if they're so upset and depressed because somebody's smaller, somebody's eyebrows look longer,
The amount
they
of
didn't get
likes.
the boy
Right.
that they, liked.
Someone
Back
didn't
in the
share
day,
their
if
post.
if I liked you and we went to the movies and you went and bought candy, some popcorn at the school game, I would never know it. But now Candy
Right.
will put it on Snapchat.
Right, right.
Come on, would you run home?
Yeah,
And, so
yeah.
you can never. It's just so much. So if your teenager cannot handle it, take the phone away, and that is an option. I don't know why parents feel like that once they
have
give them
to
to
have
them, they
it.
have to have it for life.
Right.
They don't. You can take it back. If you had a 10-year-old that had anything going on that they couldn't handle, you would take it away.
Right, and then a lot of times what a lot of parents will say now, because of the way the world is set up where parents have to work more hours and both parents have to work and work longer hours, they say the children need phones for communication purposes.
Sprint got a house
They
phone for
still have
$9.99.
flip phones. Flip phones work. So if your child just needs a phone, get them off of social media, get them off of the internet sites,
And you-
save a life, get them a flip phone.
That's right. Now, can you still get the Obama phone? Is it over?
It's about.
I heard he went in the hood and started taking phones back.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Just here the other day on 30th and Keystone, I saw somebody with one of those tents that said free phone. So they were setting it up in the name of somebody.
There
so
you go. And you can always, like I said, you can always get a home phone. It's not crazy to have a home phone. Well, anyway, you guys, we hope that you enjoyed the show today. That is all that we have for you guys. Thank you so much to Glenn Bill for coming on the show, and he gave us this awesome book. It's going to be an easy read. I plan on reading a few pages a day. The ABCs of Attitude, and it says, get attitude, get you some. So Glenn Bill, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We absolutely appreciate it. Everyone is here is just inspired just from your presence. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
great attitude.
Yeah.
Please tune into the Angel Stark Show with Damone Means on Saturday, 12:30 a.m. on WHMB TV, Channel 40.
Close and personal, the Angel Star Show. If you got something to say, Angel will showcase your talent, your business on the internet show.